In the silence of the desert night where the dunes stretch like golden waves frozen in time, there lived a prince whose heart was made of verses and whose soul was woven with dreams. He was known as Hamdan, but the world whispered his name as Fazza, the poet of Dubai, the rider of destiny, the falcon whose wings touched horizons unseen by ordinary eyes. Yet beneath the crown and the glory, beneath the fame and the poems, lived a man who longed not for power but for love, a love that would make him forget the weight of duty and remember only the sweetness of being human. They say love comes to every man, but to Hamdan, it came like a miracle carved in moonlight. It came not in the grand halls of palaces nor the thunder of applause, but in the quiet way her eyes found his across a distance no one else could measure. She was not there to seek his name, nor to bow to his title. She was simply herself, a soul with the kind of purity that could turn deserts into gardens. And when he saw her, the world slowed, the noise of the city fell silent, and only one truth remained. His heart had recognized its home. Her laughter was softer than the morning breeze that stirs the palms by the sea, yet powerful enough to make his chest ache with longing. Her presence was like shade in the heat of the day, like water found unexpectedly in the endless desert. In her simplicity, he saw a beauty greater than the towers of Dubai, greater than the races of horses, greater than the victories of men. And in that moment, the prince who had everything realized that without her, he had nothing. Hamdan began to write again, but now every word was touched by her. His poems became rivers flowing toward her name, though he never wrote it. The world read his verses and found beauty, but she read them and found her reflection. When he spoke of the moon, she knew it was her face he saw. When he praised the falcon, she knew it was her spirit he admired. When he wrote of the sea, she knew he was drowning in her depth. Their love became a secret language, hidden in plain sight, spoken through ink, through eyes, through silence. Their meetings were rare and delicate, like pearls hidden deep within oysters. Sometimes only a glance across a crowded place, sometimes only the brush of hands passing something small, sometimes only the shared breath of being near without speaking. Yet each of those moments was enough to ignite fires that burned brighter than any sun. For love is not measured in hours spent together but in the intensity of the soul when it touches its counterpart. But love does not grow without trials. The prince was bound by duty, by the eyes of a nation, by the expectations of his people. She was bound by her own world, simple, modest, far from the weight of crowns. To stand side by side seemed impossible, like asking the desert to embrace the sea. Yet love is patient, and patience is a language they both knew well. He waited, she waited, in the heart of Dubai where the desert meets the sea, where the winds carry whispers of the past and the skyscrapers gleam like polished swords against the horizon. There was a prince who carried poetry in his soul and love in his eyes. They called him Hamdan, though the world knew him as Fazza, the poet of the desert, the writer of dreams, the falcon who could see far beyond the dunes, and the lover whose heart was carved with verses of longing. His love story was not written in ink but in the shifting sands, in the moonlight that fell over the Arabian Gulf, in the tender glances he shared beneath the stars, and in the timeless patience of a heart that understood what it meant to love beyond time, beyond distance, beyond silence. He was a man of horses, of camels, of falcons, of daring rides across endless lands, yet love made him softer than the desert rain, gentler than the early dawn that touches the golden dunes. They say he found her not in the courts of kings, nor in the dances of the world's light, but in a quiet place where souls meet before eyes ever do. She was not a jewel displayed before him, but a secret melody his heart already knew, a song waiting to be heard in the stillness. When he saw her, the desert within him bloomed like an oasis, and his verses found a new rhythm, for every line began to echo her name even when unspoken. Her eyes carried the mystery of the night sky, and in them he saw a universe that humbled even the towers of Dubai. Her smile was like the first rain after years of drought, soft and healing, and her presence was like a falcon's shadow gliding silently over the dunes, powerful yet tender. In his heart, he knew this was not just admiration. It was the meeting of destinies. For love does not ask permission when it arrives. It does not knock on the palace doors or wait for kings to approve. It simply enters like the wind, unseen, unstoppable, undeniable. Hamdan would ride his horse across the desert, his thoughts burning brighter than the torches that lit the night races, and every stride of the stallion was in rhythm with his heart calling for her. He wrote her name in verses hidden among metaphors, so the world would read his poems, but only she would understand their secret pulse. When he spoke of the moon, he meant her. When he praised the falcon, he meant her spirit. When he sang of the sea, he meant the depth of her heart. And though the world cheered his words, only she could taste their true sweetness. Their love was not loud, not painted with fireworks in the sky, but carried like incense in the air, fragrant, invisible, eternal. They spoke in silence more than in words, for the eyes of lovers hold more power than any language. Sometimes they would meet under the shade of the desert palms, sometimes in the crowd where no one noticed how two souls were touching without hands. 1,000 guards could stand between them, but love knows no guards, for it is a bird that flies above walls.